Now here we've got about 30 mooring balls. So on a hot summer day, if you come out here, sometimes it looks like a parking lot because each one of those mooring balls will be taken. Now we did see that big, beautiful elkhorn coral, that brown coral that looked like moose antlers. That's a type of branching coral. It's very, very endangered. Now those branching corals used to cover the reefs out here, but back in the 90s a disease broke out called the white band disease, and it killed off about 95% of our branching corals. Now that disease was caused from sewage runoff from the shore. But fortunately now they're working to put in sewer systems instead of those septic tanks, so hopefully we won't get any more of that sewage runoff. But we also have a nonprofit organization down here called the Coral Restoration Foundation, who another strong filefish, right in window 3, beautiful view of them. Beautiful fish. But the Coral Restoration Foundation has a nursery out in the ocean where they grow coral. Now once that coral's ready, they'll pick it up, transplant it to a reef just like this one, cement it down, and it can grow very successfully here. So it is highly successful. A couple of weeks ago our coral did spawn, which means that it reproduced, and the coral that was transplanted here was also seen spawning. So that's a great indicator that it's very successful. Now, if you get another look at that elkhorn coral, sometimes people get really worried because it's got white around the edges and they think it's that white band disease, but that's actually just new growth. So it's actually a really good sign when there's white just around the edges of the coral. Now we're seeing a lot of those scrawled filefish, and I mentioned to you guys that they love to eat jellyfish, but does anybody know what other animal on the reef loves sea jellyfish? Sea turtles, that's right. Our sea turtles love to eat those jellies. Now scientists actually think that the stinging cells on those tentacles, what do you see? A grouper? I can't see it from up here. What is he, just inward, I think, of window 7? I couldn't see him. I have kind of a different view up here, you guys. But those, the scientists think that when those sea turtles eat the stinging cells from those jellyfish, that they actually get a type of euphoric feeling from it, kind of like a little buzz that they're getting when they're eating those jellies. So it's kind of neat. Another strong filefish. Oh, he's actually got a jellyfish. Just going outward of window 1, he's actually nibbling on that jellyfish. Wow, that's really cool. We don't always get to see that, so that's really, really neat. It looks like he's got a buddy coming up to join him. But unfortunately, there is something that flows through the water that looks like a jellyfish, and those sea turtles can't tell the difference. Does anybody know what that is? Plastic bags, that's right. Sometimes those sea turtles will ingest those plastic bags, and they cannot digest them, so it's very, very bad for them. So that's why it's really important that we make sure all of our trash goes into the trash can and not into the ocean. Now, if those turtles do eat those plastic bags, they'll cause a blockage, which will cause a buildup of gas. Now, if that turtle has a buildup of gas, they can't dive down. We've got an angelfish under window 5. It was either a French angelfish or a gray angelfish, but I can't see him anymore. I think it was a gray angelfish. But if that sea turtle has a buildup of gas, he can't dive down to eat anymore, and he also might get hit by a boat, so it's very, very unfortunate. But fortunately, we do have the Sea Turtle Hospital down in Marathon. They do come out and rescue, rehabilitate, and release injured and sick sea turtles, and it's a wonderful facility. If you get the chance to head south about an hour, I would definitely check it out. Just make sure you make a reservation before you go there. And they do give educational tours, but it is a great place. You'll get a really good up-close view of those sea turtles. Now, typically the turtles that we see here are either our hawksbill sea turtles. They're a little smaller and they've got a pointed beak like a hawk. Sometimes we'll see our green sea turtles. They can actually get very large, from 500 to 700 pounds, but usually we'll just see our smaller juvenile ones. Now they're called green sea turtles, not because they're green color on the outside, but once they become adults, they become strict herbivores, so they eat a lot of grasses and algae. That actually turns their internal fat a green color, which is how they got their name. Now finally, sometimes we'll see our loggerhead sea turtles. They've got very large heads that look like logs, and sailors used to actually get them confused with logs. Rarely, we do have leatherback sea turtles down here. I have yet to see one, but that would be a big treat. And also sometimes a Kemp's Ridley sea turtle, which is the smallest of all the sea turtles. Now all of our sea turtles are considered endangered, but a good thing though is that they did have record numbers of green sea turtle nests this year along the beaches in Florida. So that's really, really excellent and a really good sign that hopefully they weren't really impacted negatively from that oil spill. But keep your eyes out. You never know when one of those sea turtles is going to swim by. And if you ever glance out those side windows, sometimes you can see them coming up for a breath. They usually come up every couple of minutes when they're foraging, but they can stay down for a couple of hours when they're resting. We've got our jewelry little like under a little blue tank swimming all amongst those blue-headed wrasse. And we've got more of our goatfish down towards the bottom, those yellowish fish, all swimming together down there.
Did you see the stingray?
Yes.
And I saw a couple of jellyfish.
Yeah, second place.
And I saw like
We've got some schoolmaster snappers. Those snappers just going outboard of window 3 or just down there with those yellowish fins and tails. Those are schoolmaster snappers.
Tank fish.
I think.
Let me show you. It's like a blue. I don't have one sorry.
Now, does anybody know what the largest barrier reef in the world is? That's right, the Great Barrier Reef. Now, does anybody know what the second largest barrier reef in the world is? Anybody? That would be the Mesoamerican Barrier Reef off the coast of Belize. Now, does anybody know what the third largest barrier reef in the world is? I hope you guys all get this one right. This one, we're all looking at it. Now, this barrier reef goes from Miami down past Key West out towards the dry Tortugas. It's over 300 miles long. Now, it's not one continuous reef, it is patch reef. The one that we're on right now is one of our larger patch reefs, one of our most popular ones. Reefs only make up about 0.7% of the ocean floor, which is just a teeny tiny little percentage. And they do have about 25% of the fish life at those coral reefs. The most biodiverse, or the second most biodiverse ecosystem, second only to the rainforest. You might wonder why there aren't more coral reefs. That's because they take very specific things in order to grow. They need clear water, kind of like we have right here. They need nice warm temperatures. They need low levels of nutrients and a certain amount of wave action to disperse the nutrients. Now, there's only a few places in the world where all of those things come together in just the right amounts in order for those coral reefs to thrive. And right here is one of the areas where those things all come together. So this is a very beautiful reef we have. Now, Alaska's Reef is a spa zone, but that doesn't mean that the fish like to get manicures and pedicures. It means that it's a sanctuary preservation area. Oh, a turtle over on the onside. Let's see. Where did he go? Did you see him? Was he swimming fast? Back behind window 7, he was just sitting on the bottom. We had a sea turtle back behind window 7. Keep your eyes out. It looks like we're going to try and get back there and see if we can see him. And he was just sitting there on the bottom. All right, let's see. Keep your eyes out on both sides. I'm not sure where he's going to pop up. All right, you guys look over here. I'll come over here and look. You see him? No. Do you see it? So it is a protected area. There's no fish